Coach, game time coming up on Friday. Talk a little bit about this week's preparations and also maybe a little bit about your scrimmage and what you liked about last week.
Well, I'll start with the scrimmage. I thought overall, our number one defense played very well. I thought they flew around and made good tackles. For this early in the year, we tackled well. I thought with our first group especially, and I thought our offensive line did a good job, and that's what I think one of our strengths is going to be. We made a couple mistakes on offense with formation and stuff, but that's stuff that can be corrected. So we've been working on formation corrections mostly this week, and then also continuing to work on the defensive side and doing a lot of tackling during the week. So, I think just getting ready for this first game is difficult for this week playing Monroe Central just because we've never played them before. So the only thing we've seen on them is their scrimmage film. So, but we got a good look at some of their stuff at least. I'm sure they didn't show everything in their scrimmage, and, we didn't either. So, both teams will have to prepare for something that maybe, something different than they saw on film. So, we try to guess and, we do the best we can.
You kind of take it then once you get into the game, you kind of have to make the adjustments as you go.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think, most of our kids in our number one group of offense and defense can make those adjustments on the fly as if we get good information from our spotters, that helps us on the field make corrections that we need to help put kids in the right spot that, maybe they're doing something a little differently than we saw on film, and we didn't prepare all the way for all of that. So that gives us an opportunity to make adjustments. And like I said, most of our kids have some experience on the line and with our defense. So, it's easier for them to make those adjustments during the game.
Has your camp gone pretty well, at least overall to this point?
Yeah, I've been real happy. I mean, as coaches, we've talked about it quite a bit that, where we are at this point in the season this year compared to last year, we're a lot farther ahead than we were. So, that's a good thing. And, some of our young kids are starting to understand a little bit more about, the speed of the high school game. And, our middle school team was undefeated last year, and they had some pretty good athletes, but they're finding out that, at the varsity level, everybody's a pretty good athlete.
You've got a good core of kids, though, that you can count on, some kids that played last year. I'm going to get a chance to talk to a couple of them today. What does that mean to your football team? Because you guys need some guys out there on the field, too, that can kind of help be a little bit of a coach, too.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Chase Hokie returns this year as a middle linebacker. As a sophomore, he was the Defensive Player of the Year for the Palladium Item for this area. And then last year he broke his thumb in the scrimmage and missed 6 weeks of the season. So, he was our leading tackler when he came back, which, I expected him to be. And I expect him to be our leading tackler and really one of the top tacklers in the area or in the state this year. So, he does a great job getting to the football and reading blocks. And, we really count on him to be kind of the captain of our defense.
Coach, I know you mentioned Monroe Central, just a little bit more about them since, you saw a little bit on film, but again, the scrimmage is a scrimmage. What do you know from them before, and what do you think they'll do, at least try to do against you guys on Friday night?
Well, Monroe Central the last 2 or 3 years has been a pretty good football program, and they've got some decent sized kids on the line, it looks like, from the film, and they go a lot of double tight stuff and just try to pound the ball at you a little bit. They'll be in some straight T with 3 backs in the backfield. They'll split those guys out as wings and run some counter and some different things. So they just try to grind it out a lot, and they get after you, try to run the ball inside, and you start overplaying the inside, then they'll hit you with a sweep or a counter. And I know they threw the ball quite a bit in the scrimmage. I don't know how much they're going to throw in a regular game, but that's something we've had to work on as well as some of their route combinations that we saw in the scrimmage. So, we're like you said, you try to prepare for everything, but something's going to happen that we weren't ready for, I'm sure.
Right, you looking forward to it? You ready to get out there? You put in a lot of work during the summer, and here in camp, probably ready to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I told somebody the other day, this is starting my 32nd year as a high school football coach, and I still love getting up in the morning and getting ready for practice and getting ready for school, and knowing that I've got a chance to coach high school football in Indiana.